Good morning, Rumble Studios. Good morning, Rumble Studios. Good morning, Rumble Studios. On this 02.16.2026. Current time is 05:49 a.m. Eastern Time here in upstate New York, the southern tier of upstate New York where I live and reside. And we have good sound. Okay, we got good sound there on the Rich Roberts at Fireman Rich here on the Rumble, at Fireman Rich over there on X, which is my mainstay for broadcasting or for posting I should say, on these interwebs. And I'm on a host of others. And I see our good friend Tony. Good morning, Tony, from Warner Robins, Georgia. There. Um, is on all of them posting. And but if you want to know what other than at Fireman Rich on X, just Google at Fireman Rich. Good morning to you, Tony D. Salute to you, coming in from Warner Robins, Georgia. That's on the YouTube side. Hashtag positive start to the day. And Tony says good morning. And the missus says good morning back, Tony. And then there's Tina. Good morning, Tina, a Jersey girl. And Tina, the missus says good morning too. Beat you to it. She beat you to it, Tina. Good morning. And Tony saying that's on the Twitch. And on the Twitch, Tony is over there saying good morning to uh, or salute there. Salute, my brother veteran, my good friend and fellow broadcaster. And uh, and then Tina saying hi to Tony on Twitch. And waving, no, Tony waving to Tina, and then Tina saying hi. Good morning to Tony on Twitch, and the missus or the Tina says good morning to the missus. So we got all our morning salutations in and stuff. But I say good morning to you. We're here on a Friday. Thank God it's Friday, and yeah, lots of laughter. The missus, she's prime. She's going to get it in before you all. So, but she's up and about. We're up early. I've been up since oh. About 10 to 5 there, my normal time there. I've been getting up there. So that's working out quite well. I went to bed early last night too. So, but we're here on a Friday, end of the week. We made it to the weekend. Just some of you working stiffs that have to work out there, like Tony D, get through the day. What's with my hair? Here's always makeup. um, just get through the day, and the weekend is here for you to play around and on and stuff. So I know Tony D's early. He's in the work before I get out of bed and stuff like that, turning the wrench and stuff. So glad to have you both here, Tina and Tony. And those that are just viewing, appreciate it. We've got two people on Rumble, one person on local, two people on YouTube. All right, woo, and three people on Twitch. So we'll have a number of it fluctuates. It goes up and down, up and down. And we are here. We made it to the weekend. I hope everybody had a good week. It went quick. I thought it went quick. And what is it? Wednesday when we had a short show. I got my car inspected. We went to breakfast. Oh my God, it was a great breakfast. We go to the River Rock. The River Rock here in Owego. Look it up. It's right there. What's nice about it? There's nothing fancy about it, but it's a good place to get a good lunch, good breakfast. I haven't been there for dinner, um, but it's a good diner. Okay, I just say that the guy that the main cook is the owner, and he is phenomenal. I mean, 5 minutes after we make our order, breakfast is on the table, hot, and it's hot and ready to be eaten. And I had the farm like I normally have. I had the farmer's omelet, and oh my God, it's good with side order sausage. I have that. It'll be 2 more months, 3 more months before we go there again. Because I used to eat that almost. I used to have a Western omelet and bacon and sausage back in my younger day every day when I was in the service. My God, before I met the missus, I was just like, okay, it's in the chow hall. Give me the works. And thank God I was running a lot there. I didn't pack on the pounds and stuff like that. So, but we went there, and then we got the car inspected, um, and then yesterday wasn't really. Oh, yesterday, I was tiddling around with this as far as the networking capability of the Commodore 64, and I ended up dumping my router. I had to restart. I had to re, redo my router and stuff like that from factory and stuff. So that means then, and I ended up accidentally clearing all my I cleared my I they I was looking at something because I couldn't find the password. And so I don't know why I don't have it, but it's right here in front of me. It was right there in front of me and stuff like that the whole time for the router. And I haven't accessed the router and probably since just after we bought this router, maybe 15 years ago. I think I'm doing a new one, but it was a good thing yesterday morning and afternoon. I got it all squared away and stuff, but in the process, before I found the password, well, when it goes to default, then you just go through the motions. I think it's on the bottom. And you have to go through the Wi-Fi, I guess, on this router. And um, what is it? I ended up clearing out my browser on Google, so that's all the passwords. I had to redo all the passwords to all the places I'm at, which is about a dozen and a half, I guess, or something like that. But it was no big deal. It was a good learning practice and stuff. And I connected this to the internet to where, and I tried doing the FPP. And what was the name of that program I downloaded for that to look at the files on the? It's something called FileZilla. FileZilla. I looked at it and then I guess to when I uploaded it, one of the requirements is you put their browser as a default. And I said, well, Google Chrome is my default. But I said, okay, let's just look at it. And then I uninstalled it and uninstalled the browser there. I guess after just tangling with the router, resetting up the passwords, and because I got a 2.4 gigahertz and a 5.5G Wi-Fi on it and stuff like that. So I set up the passwords on that and stuff. And but it's pretty interesting. I have it on. I have the app on the old phone too, so I got to access it through there so I can see who's on the network in a matter of speaking. So that was pretty interesting yesterday. And I didn't get to play around too much with the Commodore as much as I wanted to, as far as learning a little bit more and updating myself on the mechanics of the router and stuff like that. Because you can get into your router and you can use it for networking, for FTTP, that's file transferring protocol or something like that. And so you can look I can look at this Commodore's files here it's just all part of the network and stuff. And then there's this other thing. It's an HTTPS server on the web page here on Google that I can restart. I can do things on this one. I can control this. So it's pretty interesting from that aspect. And I got that out of my system and stuff. So I got to get back to the copying. That was the main program or project that I had, was copying all the discs. The missus ended up getting something from the library, an old bookshelf that she brought home, and I was like, it's one of the original bookshelves from the library, and I'm liking it. This desk is going to probably go away, and the shelf is going to be over there. But this shelving probably goes back to the early 19. I think the shelving's probably close to, if not 50 years, it's at least 50 years old, but they could be over close to 100 years old as far as the wood and stuff like that. So it's a pretty sturdy. The bookshelves are bigger now. This one's small, but it's got these railings on the side to where you can put another shelf on. So that was the original bookshelves in the library, but they had some of these, and I guess the director there, she offered the missus a job there as far as a part time, only about like 4 to 6 hours a week or something like that. And she's thinking about it. I don't think so. We're enjoying our time off and stuff. It sounds like a good idea, because I said, well, geez, if you do it, I'll do it. But then we got talking about it, and I was like, oh, geez, we got to deal with people again. It's like, nah. we'll we'll put a hold on it. But I don't know. It was a nice. We liked the library. I was there Wednesday afternoon too for the chess game with my, and I lost. I ended up losing. I just boggled the game as far as that goes. Towards the end, I he my neighbor was very aggressive on this game and stuff, and he had his queen off to the side. And I don't know why I castled to the queen side, and I think it was try and open up my king side because I couldn't get my bishop out on that side, the king's bishop. So I castled on that side, but his queen was already over there, and that's one of the things you don't want to castle on the same side of the person's king and stuff like that. And but I couldn't get anything going. He was he has a regular standard opening that I'm trying to crack as far as that goes. And um, let's see. Tina says I used to volunteer at a library. I love it. Yeah, yeah. The missus would love it. She loves. She goes there like every couple of days to get books to read. She's reading a couple more books and stuff like that. So yeah, it's interesting. I this chess the chess club, if you want, the so-called chess club. There's only me and my neighbor that go there, but it gives us an opportunity to play chess. And the only thing is when we're playing chess, well, even when we're, I think it's more enjoyable when we play at his house down the road because it's right there on his backyard overlooks the back nine of the golf course here in the village, and that's where I usually walk. But I've been doing the bicycle. That's another thing. I've been on the bike every day this week. So today will be the fifth day. So I'm doing pretty good there. But his gazebo, where we usually play during the summer, it's nice out there, and that's an enjoyable chess game because you got the golf course there and stuff. Down at the library, though, it's okay. There's some nice little chessboards. So they got a big chessboard, but they bought two little small ones. And the pieces are okay, and the board's really nice. But we like when we play every Monday night on chess.com, you get the after results of how you played and stuff like that. So we're really liking that. And we could document, and then plug it in and stuff like that, but that's just more work than what it's worth. But so he won, and then Monday we tied. So we'll find out next Monday what we played on chess.com. I should live stream that, but I don't know. I just don't think um, I don't know, just out of respect for my neighbor and stuff like that. It's just, and plus it'd be a distraction because I try and really focus on the game when I play on chess.com now because, and I wasn't really focused at the library. It's a little distraction. There was um, a father and his daughter came in. They got the other board and they played and they were talking and stuff like that. So I'm not blaming. It's not their fault or anything. It's just a little distraction and stuff. I should have focused more. But the week has been good. It's been quick, and we're here on the weekend. So I was almost going to live stream last night the game. There I go procrastinating again. But we're going to try and get some Lord of the Rings gameplay in this weekend because I'm due for that. It's been a couple weeks, and I'm thinking about skipping where we're at and going right up to another expansion pack because I'm like two expansion. There's a new expansion coming out. Well, it's already out now, and I think I'm two behind that one. I paid for both of them and stuff like that. So it's just I'm like I'm like 2 years behind, I guess, and stuff like that. Just dilly dally and stuff, but I'm not in no hurry, to finish the game and stuff. But we'll see what happens this weekend. But I do hope everybody had a great weekend. Oh, I do have the morning coffee, and it's half gone already. Love the coffee. I got some honey. I got some local honey there to put in. So I think my next cup I'm gonna have a cup when we take a break. I come back. I'll have a little honey. I re, I restricted myself to one cup will have honey in it. So it's either if it's the first one, then I don't get any. So I'm gonna wait till the second one. I'm looking at the honey right now over there on the counter. It's some good honey. It's some local honey that was made from a beekeeper across the Susquehanna here, just about a 5-minute drive. And And I love the honey in the coffee. It's really good. I can only have one cup with it though. That's because you put too much honey. That's too much. It's natural sugar and stuff like that, but it's the better sugar than I used to dump a whole bunch of the white granule sugar on my cornflakes back in the day. There was more sugar on there than a whole box of frosted flakes. And Tina says, "Good idea. Yes, local honey is good for allergy." Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And I guess this it says the flowers. I think they were. It says fall flower honey. So it was made this past fall from the fall flowers and stuff. And it's I can never tell it. Honey tastes like honey. Just unique that's the flowers I looked around just before winter and stuff like that. That's what the bees were collecting and stuff. So, but a good week, quick week it seemed, and we're here on the weekend. And what else? Oh, I took care of some business I had to take care of Wednesday there when we got back too. So, and so we'll see how the weekend. It should be a good weekend. We got the Super Bowl. We'll be talking about that during the sports and stuff, and haven't been really hearing much about that. And the missus asked, it was the last night. She asked, "Are we going to watch the Super Bowl?" Yeah, I guess. Um, I won't be watching the halftime show. I'm gonna turn it off during the halftime show, but I will watch the game. I'm not too hip about the NFL Super Bowl halftime shows and stuff of late. Let's just say I don't agree with Mr. Bruce Springsteen, but they could have had him, or they could have had Jelly Roll. I don't know this guy from some squat. And from what I hear about him and what I've seen, um, he's a big entity and stuff like that. But he gives me the impression that he's sort of anti-American. He's the Super Bowl is an American event. It should be an American entertainer that is at the halftime, and we have plenty of entertainers and stuff. That's just my opinion. Express my opinion and stuff. You may have yours and you may disagree with it and stuff like that. But I don't know this guy from squat, and from what I hear, he's going to be singing in Spanish. That's not, to me, that's not great. It's bring in Bruce Springsteen. I don't agree with him as far as that goes politically and stuff like that, but he still probably sings just as good, if not better. Plus, he's an American. I disagree with this guy. I don't know squat from and stuff. Now people say, "Oh, you should listen to." No, no, don't. No, he's you know. Hey, we got Liberty. Good morning. She's saying good morning, Patriots. Liberty says good morning to the missus, and the missus says good morning back to you, Liberty, and good morning, Twitchers, and love the flags. The flags are always great. Thank you for being here, Liberty from Buffalo, the Niagara Buffalo area, and there's Thammer. Thammer coming in. Oh, they're coming in. He's coming in from Saudi Arabia, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Thank you, Thammer, for being here. Hope all is well on your part of the world. Thank you for being here. And Liberty says that Bad Bunny gives me the creeps. You're not alone. I don't know what I don't know about him. When they first announced, I said, "Who?" Me and the missus are like, "Who is this guy?" And then they started explaining about him and stuff like that. And some of the partial songs they showed when they were doing the overview on him, I didn't really like them. I did not like the music as far as that goes. So first impressions are lasting impressions as far as that goes. So, and Tina saying good morning to Liberty from the Twitch side, and Tina saying hi to Thammer as far as that goes on the Twitch side. And we have Tim Fan from the Michigan, our resident contractor. Yo to you, Tim, coming in on the YouTube side. And Thammer saying hi to Tina, and Tim Fan saying hi to all from YouTube. Thammer's over there on Twitch. We have for the most part we have a pretty active chat here on a Friday. And Tina saying good morning to Tim Fan. So we'll see. I think it should be a good Super Bowl. There hasn't been that much news in it, so we'll talk a little bit about it during the sports and stuff like that. And Liberty saying good morning to the YouTubers from Rumble. Yeah, we are on Rumble. We're still maintaining 2 on Rumble, 1 on Locals, 2 on YouTube, and 3 on Twitch as far as that goes. And Tim says they got 6 more inches of snow out there in Michigan. We've been holding tight. We've been holding tight, and Tim saying good morning to Tina from YouTube, and let's see. Dammer says I just butchered wood door trying to install a new handle. Oh, really? I got that's something I got to do this weekend. I hope I don't. We're gonna put in a well. We got to change out a handle and then what is it? A deadbolt. We got a deadbolt. I got to drill into the. So you butchered a wooden door trying to install a new handle. Oh, just get wood putty. Sorry. Get some wood putty and put it around, sand it down. You can fix that. And you can fix that there, Thamer. If you need you need any instructions, get with our resident contractor there, Tim Fan. He knows about installing things. And Liberty says, I don't think we'll be watching the Bowl. It's not Buffalo. Well, I'm watching it because I like Seattle, Liberty. I think Seattle. I want to see. I want to see Sam Donald win a Super Bowl ring because he was on Minnesota last year and they let him go, and I think that'd be cool. As far Seattle's a good team, I think. But Seattle's going to be for sale. I haven't heard much about that, but as far as that goes, but me and the missus will be watching it. We'll be turning it off during the halftime show, though. I think. And Tim Fan says to Thamer, use a jig and make a hole in the door. Yeah, I got the. We got the. What did you call those? The what are those diagrams for the door, Pam or Mrs.? Oh, the templates. Oh, I just said her name. Oh, she's the Mrs. still. Okay, I let it slip. That's okay. Let's see. Chalk and caulk and wood putty hides. Yeah, we know that for a fact. We got some caulking that we have to do on a ceiling back out there and stuff like that. Yep, that's the good old go-to as far as that type of work there, Tim. Yeah. But 6 inches of snow you got out in Michigan. That's so wow. That's we don't have any snow in the forecast, and that's a good transition into the weather here because currently here it dropped a degree. What the hell's going on there? We had a couple nice days here this week, but it's been still cold. We got 15 degrees Fahrenheit. 15 degrees Fahrenheit here in the southern tier of upstate New York, which equates to negative. Oh, let's see. Hang on for a minute. 15 degrees. Okay, we put the 5 in. Let's see. Oh, I'm using the wrong keyboard. Jesus Louises. 15 degrees Fahrenheit, which equates to negative 9 degrees Celsius. That's what we're. So the one thing, it's been cold, but the big thing is we haven't really had that much wind. We have not had that much wind, and the wind is a killer when it's cold because you get that wind chill effect as far as that goes. And but it's been a fairly decent winter or this week so far. Let's see. Liberty says temps to plummet this weekend. 16 here now. High on Saturday. It will be 6. Yeah, it's we got a extreme cold weather. I think I said that about Friday. The extreme cold weather warning from the National Weather, but we're currently at 15, which is and you got 16. So yeah, we're going to be going down into the negatives here with the wind chill factor as far as that goes. And let me bring up that weather advise. It's a weather extreme cold warning. And it's just like what Liberty said that the whole state here, we got an Arctic freeze, Arctic cold coming in. And let's see, where's it? Oh, there it is. And this is from the National Weather Service. And let's see, this was issued. Okay, it's been updated since this morning, 6:06 6:03 a.m. So just as we're coming on, about 10 minutes ago, this has been updated. Extreme cold warning in effect from 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, Saturday, to 1 p.m. Sunday. Okay, that's a little reduction because I think they thought it. I think yeah. Okay. Well, I think they thought it was going to start tonight. Dangerous cold, wind chills as low as 20 to 30 below zero expected. That doesn't mean we're going to get it. It's expected. Portions of central New York and northeast Pennsylvania from 4 a.m. Saturday to 1 p.m. The whole 24 hours there plus impacts the dangerously cold wind chills as low as 30 below zero, causing frostbite. So up where Liberty's at, she's up there by the lake, and it's going to get cold up there. Precautionaries dressed in layers. Layers is always good, including a hat, face, gloves. If you or stay inside. That's what the missus suggests. Stay inside. To prevent water pipes from freezing, wrap or drain and allow time to drip slowly. That's what we're gonna keep the water spigot in the sink going in the kitchen as far as that goes, because the extreme temperatures can be good. And one of the things when I was still working, um, I was in on a Sunday, and we had the cold weather caused one of the in the fire department. They have these the sprinklers. They got sprinklers, but all the branches come back to a main line, your riser, and one of the sprinklers. I won't say exactly what location was at, but the cold caused it to pop. So, and it was probably about minus, it's at least minus 7, 8 degrees. Okay, it was cold out, and we had, um, if you take the amount of time before shutting that riser off, and the capacity of the riser, you can calculate how many gallons. There was about 2,000 gallons that popped out, and it was a 50 GPM, 15 gallons per minute. Um, uh, yeah, about a 50 gallon. Uh, it was 100 gallon, either 50 or 100 gallon GPM. I think they're rated at least 60 psi. Those sprinkler heads. When you go into the store, you see the sprinkler heads. They can dump close to anywhere from 50 to 100 gallons a minute. Okay, and then they have the spring and it. So you can put it in a formula, and there was about 2,000 gallons that popped out of that one spring, and it just drenched this whole office area and stuff like that. It was and and it was a cold day that day. It was a Sunday, so there was nobody on the at the ranch, as we used to say on a Sunday. It's just the bare minimum people to keep the facility going, and that was pretty interesting. And so these cold days remind me of that day as far as that goes. And but the temperatures will be falling very quickly up here in New York and the Northeast of the United States. But for today, and we're at 31. I'm not going as quick as I did Wednesday, am I? I'm just sort of lollygagging. It's a Friday. Let's see, cold or cloudy with snow showers developing in the afternoon. We might get some snow lake effect. High at 28 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to get a little warming. 28 is warm, people, compared to where we were at here. Um, Winds are 5 to 10 miles per hour. That's good. So it's going to be, when they get up around 15 to 20, that wind chill factor really bites. Chance of snow 50%. Snow accumulation is less than an inch, so it's dependent on how it comes in. Sun will be rising this morning at 7:14. And the thing is, these shades are down because it's cold out. That these shades will be down too. It keeps the warmth in here. But 7:14, which is in an hour and 4 minutes. No, an hour and 3 minutes. No, let's see, an hour. Yeah, an hour and 4 minutes. It's 6:18, so coming up on 6:19. So it's an hour and 5 minutes. The sun will be rising here in the southern tier of upstate New York at 7:14 a.m. and the sun will be setting at 5:27 p.m. We're getting longer and longer days and stuff. I was enjoying the sunset last night, looking out the back window as it was going, and it was uh, it said it about that's about 5:25 yesterday or 5:26. So but it was 5 minutes after six there. I'm looking out and you can still see, I mean, I'm loving the daylight, the extra daylight that we're getting now as far as that goes. So 5:27 p.m. later this evening it will be our world times and temperatures as I speak, starting in Honolulu, Hawaii at 1:19 a.m. Clear skies in Honolulu, 72 degrees Fahrenheit. In Phoenix, Arizona at 4:19 a.m. in their early morning, clear skies, 57 degrees Fahrenheit. In the windy city of Chicago, Illinois at 5:19 a.m. It's snowing and we got a snowflake there. Snowing in Chicago, 30 degrees Fahrenheit. In New York City, the concrete jungle at 6:20 a.m. At 6:20 a.m. here in southern tier of upstate New York, where I live and reside. Clear skies down in New York City, 25 degrees Fahrenheit, and down in central New Jersey, where our Jersey girl is at, Tina says it's going to be 38 degrees. That's going to be a little bit warm today before the freeze, I guess, huh? 38 for the high, 19 for the low, partly cloudy down there in central New Jersey and down. Thank you, Tina. And down where Tony is at in Warner Robins, Georgia, he's letting us know it's currently 32 degrees Fahrenheit down there, 60 degrees for the high. I like that 60, 32 for the low. And yes, Liberty, 30 degrees. That's a heat wave. Yeah. Anything above 25 to 30 degrees is a heat wave with the cold that we've experienced. I agree. I agree. But we're going to get some cold temperatures tomorrow as far as that goes. And Liberty says to Tony D, good morning. That's a heat wave also. Yeah, 60 degrees is really a heat wave at this time of year. For tomorrow, let me see what the temperatures are on the 10-day. And currently here in the southern tier of upstate New York, that's the current weather outlook. It looks like they had a little rain over there by the Catskills to the east and stuff. But tomorrow they're looking at a high of 5 degrees Fahrenheit here and a low of 0 degrees. And then Sunday it goes up to 11 degrees and then it's -3 degrees on Sunday. So it might be colder. Then we get Monday, we get up to 22 degrees, Tuesday 30. Then we're back in the 30s next week. So it'll feel like springtime then. So that's what we're looking at here locally in the southern tier of upstate New York. And let's see. Tina says, I'm still looking at all that snow we had. It's not melting. Ours is melting a little bit. We had 13 inches, 13, 14 inches. It's down to about, I'd say about 4 or 5 inches now. The animals are running around. When it was 14 inches, there's no tracks out in the backyard. Now there's tracks all over. We got deer, we've got freaking possums or gophers or whatever. The birds are bouncing around. The stray cats are running around all over the place out there. So, but yeah, we're going to be taking a big dip. And the winds, that's the main concern. The winds, I think tomorrow here in the southern tier at about 1 p.m., they're going to max out at 20 miles per hour. So tomorrow, that's probably when it's going to be its coldest tomorrow. Because that wind it just bites into you. It does bite into you. So, okay, so there's that. The weather. Let's go ahead. We have a thought for today, and it's this thought for today is probably after Abraham Lincoln. This is my most favorite president that I have the greatest respect for. He not when I first came in, but just after I came in, he was elected, and Let's see. Tina says, let's see. Let's see what we got here. Tina says we had 35 deer cross in front of our car on 35. Ooh, you had the herd going, huh? Wow. Yeah, very slow on snow. Yeah, they're very slow on snow. Yeah. I can imagine. That must have been a sight. You should have got a picture of that. Post it over there on the Instagram. Let's see. Our thought for today, like I said, is after Abraham Lincoln, who was my favorite president, this is my next favorite president. And I was able to serve under him as he was my commander in chief when I was in the service. And when he became commander in chief, it was just like a breath of fresh air because the previous president, at that particular time, I have great respects for the president that was before this particular president now. But back then, I didn't. I thought he was a knucklehead. But and that is the 40th president of these here United States, and that's President Ronald Reagan. I have great high regards for him. He was very good to the military. He's one of our great presidents. I feel after Abraham Lincoln, I would love to have met this gentleman. And but Ronald Wilson Reagan was an American politician, an actor who served as the 40th president of these here United States from 1981 to 1989, a member of the Republican Party, and he used to be a Democrat before he switched. Okay, so that might tell you something. And also governor of California. He became an important figure in the American conservative movement. The period encompasses his presidency is known as the Reagan era. And um, he was there. He was the commander in chief when the wall came down in Berlin. So his quote and our thought for the day goes as follows: we cannot help everyone, but everyone can help someone. Let me read that again. Our thought for the day, and a quote from President Ronald Reagan: we cannot help everyone, but everyone can help someone. And what President Reagan is emphasizing in that quote is that while solving all global issues is impossible, but we're going to try, individual acts of kindness are powerful, accessibility, and meaningful. It encourages personal responsibility to make a difference locally rather than feeling overwhelmed by the scale of needs. Yeah, if you don't worry, we got this national stuff. Don't worry about the national stuff too much. Be aware of it, but take care of local first. There's some things that pop up on the national that I get pretty egged about, but it doesn't impact me directly. I'm concerned about it, but there's more important things locally. And yes, that is a good quote. It's a great quote from our 40th president. And um, and if you could have, if I could have, if I could, you try and explain it, but unless you were in the military and you were in the military under Jimmy Carter, who I didn't really care for back in the day because I didn't know a lot about him and I just thought he was a peanut farm. But I have great respects and love for President Carter now because of what he did and what was portrayed that he didn't do, but he was working up to his last minute in the presidency to free the hostages. He's right there in the Oval Office. There's video that wasn't released way back when, but the history of Carter. There's some things I disagreed with him. You don't go into the debate stage and say you talked about nuclear proliferation or destruction with your young daughter at bedtime. That's not a good subject. But he mentioned that. I remember that during the debate. I think that was probably one of the first debates. I watched that debate, and but when Ronald Reagan became the president in the service, it was like a light switch turned on. Everybody was really proud to be served because prior to that, when my first year in the service, I'm looking around, nobody was proud to be in the service. I'm thinking, what's going on here? I guess I'm only going to stay in for 4 years. Reagan became president, and like I said, it was a light switch. The military got the greatest respects. The Vietnam vets were starting to get to be more appreciated because when I went in, President Carter, it was his last 2 years. It wasn't. We still had some Vietnam era folks in there. It's like they did not, I just like I'm looking as like I don't know if I want to be here. So thanks to President Reagan, I ended up staying in the United States Air Force and making a career and stuff like that. Because and we should thank our military because they're at the front lines. They're at the tip of the spear of freedom and liberty and stuff like that. So I have high regards for that. And but it's hard to explain because I just said it was one day was President Carter, and so like, and then Ronald Reagan comes in the office, and it was like shortly after that, the hostages were released. Like, holy crap, what happened there? So, and so the 40th president, President Ronald Reagan, God bless you, sir. Godspeed. And I loved him. He's phenomenal as far as that goes. Um, as much static as the current president gets today, a lot of the stuff that he does is modeled after the Reagan presidency, in a manner of speaking, and strength through peace, or peace through strength. You have to be strong and to maintain the peace and stuff like that, and that's what it's all about in the United States of America. We want peace in this world. We can't solve all the problems. And the quote there, as far as we can't, be in the United States, can't help everyone, but everyone in the United States can help someone. We're charitable. We're a charitable country, if you really look at it. That's my opinion. We're very charitable. Sometimes I think we're too charitable, but that's beside the point. And that's what makes us so great compared to if you compare it to other countries. They're not. So, a great president, President Ronald Reagan. Okay, let's see. What do we have on the national day here? We have National Chopsticks Days. I don't really use them. I've used them a couple times. I used them when I was over in Korea. I didn't use them when I was in Japan, though. We didn't really go out for to the local restaurants there in Japan. We sort of stayed on the base for. But when I was in Korea, there was a couple places that I always use chopsticks to pick up my what is that stuff called? Kimchi. The kimchi. Kimchi is good. It's you got to get used to the smell at first because there's some kimchi you can't. What the hell is that? Let's see. We have Bubblegum Day. Okay, I don't chew bubblegum anymore. Very rarely. Lame Duck Day. I don't think this president's a lame duck yet. Maybe. Today is Wear Red Day. Okay. Um, I couldn't wear red, but I guess if you do I got a red T-shirt I'll probably wear today. But red, let's see, wear red. What is that for? Let's see. Is this for what I think it is? Let me just check it here. I'm not going to pick that one, but it's an annual campaign to raise awareness about heart disease for women. Okay. Um, I know in the military you had Wear Red Day. People here is as remember enlisted deployed. Most of the workplaces here in the states, Friday would be wear a red T-shirt or something like that. And as far as that goes, and and that's what that's the other year long. But today it's National Wear Red Day for that other cause. We're going to go with National Frozen Yogurt Day. Yeah, it's colder than then it's real cold outside. So you got today's National Frozen. Yeah, put some yogurt out on the back porch and celebrate National Frozen Yogurt Day. I like frozen yogurt. We had ice cream last night. I had my vanilla ice cream with Hershey's chocolate on it. As far as that goes, and Tina, I knew she would say, "Oh, good, yeah, frozen yogurt's good. I like frozen yogurt." But February 6th recognizes a sweet frozen dessert that has gone from a fad. Yeah, it used to be a fad. You eat yogurt? Yeah, it's pretty good. The plain yogurt's not that great. To stable freezer item in for a few decades now. I like the blueberry. I like blueberry and the lemon. It may seem strange that we're talking about a frozen treat at the beginning of February, especially when it's cold. Cold weather seems to be a deal breaker to enjoy some frozen yogurt. But really, is there ever a bad time to eat frozen yogurt? I don't think so. I don't think so. And who's this? Hal Gulter. Have a great Friday. Oh yeah, you too. We got a YouTuber there. Who is that? That is Helger Helgutton. Gitkin? Hallie. I'll call you Hallie. As far as good to have you here, Hallie. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate it. You have a great day too. Have a great Friday. And Tina says, I eat more yogurt in the summer. Yeah, yogurt's good. Yogurt's good for you. Um, let's see. H.P. Hood developed the first frozen yogurt back in 1970 in the United States. It was created as a soft serve treat called Frogurt. Not long after, Humphreys and Dannon released their own version of frozen yogurt. Its popularity grew in the 80s, mostly due to the frozen yogurt health food status. Ice cream manufacturers soon caught on, offering low fat options and began adding frozen yogurt to their product options. You can find frozen yogurt just about anywhere, yeah. And the grocery store, the local ice cream, and even in gas stations if you want to. And let's see. Hi, Ali. I'm not good at names there, Ali. It's just Ali Gultkin. Gulton. Ali Culton. Did I say that? Oh, Ali. Okay, Ali. Glad to have you, Ali. It's too early in the morning here. As far as I'm here in the southern tier of upstate New York for the morning coffee show here on this Friday. So you have a great Friday too. Glad to have you coming in on the YouTube side. Thank you very much. We got 3 people watching on YouTube now. Yeah, 3 people over here. 3 people on YouTube. That's pretty good. We're getting some traction on YouTube. I like that. Um, I like to see the traction on the Rumble. I'd like to see that number up to 10, 15 on the Rumble. I love Rumble. Rumble is a great, and I'm able to broadcast over onto other platforms. And like I said, we had 7 up there. We scaled it down to 4, and I got a spot on my glasses here. Um, so my primary ones are Rumble, Twitch, and YouTube. YouTube is I watch a lot of YouTubes. I watch a lot of chess games on YouTube, dude. So today is National Yogurt Day. That's our national day. We're going to go with that one as far as that goes. And let's see. Say hi to all your viewers from Istanbul, Turkey. Oh, you're in Turkey. Okay. I never went to Turkey. The closest I went to Turkey, I was in the Air Force back in the day from 77 to 1997. And I spent some time over there in northern Italy. And I got to travel around Europe. I went to the closest I got to. Let's see, is Greece over? Where's Greece? Greece. I went to Greece. I never went to Turkey. We have Helicon. That's an Air Force base there. I heard good things about Turkey. I've had my the missus's nephew has visited Turkey quite a few times, and it's a good tourism in Turkey. So let me see something here. Where's Turkey? I know where Turkey's at, but I want to see where it is in relations to Greece, because it was in 1978. I went to Greece. I ran on the Air Force running team there. Well, the base running team. We at let's see. Where's the map here? Map. We have. Andean and Illiker. Okay. Um, Greece and Turkey is, yeah, it's a shared border. Okay, so I'm just wondering where I was at in Italy. Okay, yeah. So I actually flew. Yeah. Okay, no, we didn't. Okay, Turkey's across the way. Turkey is across the. Yeah, it's the what's that bay called? Oh, the Aegean Sea and the Black Sea. You got Istanbul in between. Okay, so I didn't fly over Turkey. Turkey, I would have had to gone further. Okay, I just want to get that. And Tina's saying hi to everybody over there in the country of Turkey. And Hallie says cool. And yeah, okay. And let's see, Greece and Turkey share, yeah, they share a border there, but they're separated by some water. And Tina says, I had a guy from Turkey redo my house. I met his family, very, very nice people. And let's see, Andean was a U.S. NATO airfield. Oh, that's the airfield. Okay, because Ilican or whatever, the other one, that was the main, and agency. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Turkey's a great country. We have the United States has high regards for Turkey. They're part of NATO, which we appreciate, despite what everybody said. I'm a NATO believer and stuff. I like NATO, and let's see. Tina says she's 7% Greek. Okay, um, I'm 100% American. I have people. My ancestry, my so-called ancestry, goes back to the UK, I guess, and Ireland. But I always like to say I'm 100% American. Um, I'm an American because I love this country, and I'm sure you love your country, Turkey, as well. It's a great country, and we appreciate the despite our we might have some differences, but I do appreciate and cherish the friendship we have with the people of Greek. Ilican is the name of the airfield. We have good allies. U.S. Yes, we are good allies. Yes. Um, but the press likes to portray it like we don't, which I don't know. Your country is strong and proud, and our country is strong and proud, and stuff like that. And Tina says 50% Italian and 38% Liberzine ancestry. I'm still 100% American, Tina. It's like, and I love my country. Yes, the same here. The same here, Hallie. Yes, and we do appreciate you being here. And Tina's laughing. I know where you're getting on the ancestry and stuff. You should be proud of your ancestry and stuff. The people that um, before you, but so I don't really get that. The missus is she's done the family tree and stuff like that. I think she's more on the French. What nationality is your ancestry?
Uh,
Is it French?
oh hell no.
No.
I mean, mostly like, I mean, they're over Germany area.
Oh, German.
Maybe a little English.
Okay, German and English. Okay, mine's from the UK and stuff like that. And let's see, 50% Greek and Balkan. Okay, Balkan state.
Poland.
Poland. Okay, yeah, I got some Polish in me too. There's some Polish in.
Yeah, your mom's side.
Yeah, my mom's side. There's I mean, I can remember my grandmother. She on my mother's she had the strong Polish accent. Derek, what's that?
Tell him to leave Jack alone.
Oh, okay. The cats are getting in. So, oh, you're okay. 50% Greek and Balkan. Yeah, the Balkan states there. And let's see, German and English people are cousins. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we're all related in some relation. You know, I look at we're all on this blue marble together as humans. As far as that goes, our cultures and countries. That's what it. I don't think it doesn't totally define us. I think our cultures and as a people and stuff like that. Yeah, I just um, well, like cultures do, I guess. I don't know. That's how you look at it. There's different views and stuff like that. So, but we all have to get along. We all have to have these. We live in a modern age and a modern day and stuff like that. So, I'm going to go to this as far as the wars that we have. We should have, especially that one in the Ukraine against Russia and stuff like that. That's ridiculous. Let's see. U.S. helps Turkey uh, against yeah. Well, I think the United States, it was something that just was in the thing yesterday, just reestablished, and I didn't realize that after 4 years that they have the hotline back again. I guess they dropped that for a while. Um, and let's see, the Marshals help. Yeah. So that's interesting. It's interesting times we live in and stuff, but we need to learn to, just like, you know, with all the wars that we've had in the Middle East and stuff, you don't have to like the people. You look at the Irish and the Irish Catholics and Irish Protestants. That's you're in the same country, but you got different religions and stuff like that, and that's a difference. They don't may not like each other now, but they get along and stuff like that. The same thing down there in the Middle East with the Arab Accords or Abram Accords, I should say. Everybody's getting along. They don't have to like each other, but you can still do business and stuff like that. Just like as far as that goes. Let's see. After World War II, when Turkey was living in the Middle Ages, U.S. sent. Oh, was it Turkey still living in the Middle Ages back after World War II? The U.S. sent money. Yeah, the U.S. did a lot. The U.S. we did a lot as far as helping countries that wanted to get modernized and stuff. The thing about the United States, Hallie, is that I think history shows that we did too much country building. That maybe we shouldn't have done that, as far as that goes. Because I always come back to the country of Vietnam. We didn't. The United States was so hung up on communism, which is there are adversaries. Russia's communist, China's there are adversaries as far as that goes. We're so hung up on communism too much, I think, to where it consumed us. Because Vietnam, if you were to look at history back after World War One, Ho Chi Minh, who was a very young man back then, when they had the world of all the nations coming together, Ho Chi Minh approached Woodrow Wilson and said, "Hey, Vietnam wants to be a free country." Oh no, you're part of the French. Go talk to French. We just blew them off. We blew him off again after World War II. He wanted to speak to Truman, but Truman said, "No, you're not even up on my status. So talk to my Secretary of State." And we blew him off then. And well, what are they going to do? They're going to go to somebody that listens to him. So Russia and China were listening to him. So they, and but Ho Chi Minh, if you look in history, his early speeches, they were derived right from Thomas Jefferson. History shows that, and that's the thing. We shouldn't have blew him off as far as that goes. And as far as Tina saying or Hallie saying yes, without yes, there would have been more. Yeah, I think that could be. Well, it's not just the U.S. It's a group of nations together for a common cause. It's not just the U.S. The U.S. could the U.S. done it? But no, we have other countries that help us out, and we can't just be if we just did it ourselves and everybody say, "Oh, the U.S. is a bully." No, we have to have consent from other countries and stuff. U.S. help France cause France would ruin. Yeah. Well, and the going back to the Vietnam there, if we didn't blow off Ho Chi Minh, we would probably history would have been changed about the Vietnam War because they split Vietnam after World War II. The North and South, and I just look at that as an example of what history has taught us that we shouldn't be, um, you know, even these littler countries there and some countries I never where's that country come from, all those smaller countries that have changed their names and all that and stuff like that, they all matter, and they should matter as far as one voice isn't bigger than the other as far as that goes. And no, us was right, like was right, like English and European country. Yeah. We can't solve all the problems. We can try. We can facilitate as far as that goes, and bring people together. That's what we're trying to do right now with Ukraine and Russia. Just that Russia is so hard headed. We got Putin, which I'm not a Putin fan. I tell you that right now. He's not one of my favorite people. But because I think it's more him and his regime government than the people. The people probably of Russia will probably want peace because there's too many people dying in that war. Too many people. So we'll see what happens. There's some hope on the horizon, hopefully, as far as that goes. Let's see. Yesterday we did have the let's see, U.S. saved English at the Survey Channel. Okay, yeah, history. I love history as far as that goes. Europe's. Well, Europe, I guess if you're talking about the European Union, I have an opinion of that, but I'm going to keep it. We try and keep it nice as far as that goes. And I know what you're saying about Europe. Sometimes I love Italy. I spent 11 years in Italy, 4 years or 2 years the first time, and then 4 years with the missus the second time, and um, and as far as that goes, and Europe is sick on old. Yeah, that's Europe. And then without U.S., European would lost World War One. Yeah, that we had an impact on both those, but we couldn't do it just by ourselves. Okay, we just don't, we can't do it just by ourselves. And Europe is a big open. Yeah. And I love it. And Tina says, "Yeah, I know you love Italy, Tina. You're just I've spent time in northern Italy. It was great, a great country. The European Union. I'm not too hip on stuff like that because I guess I can't see countries not having their own currency and stuff like that. But I guess that's European Union, I guess, and stuff like that. They could help by not buying oil from Russia, and that would bring Russia quicker to the peace table as far as that goes. They're feeding the bear in a manner of speaking and stuff. But at any rate, we'll see what happens as far as that goes. Um, let's see. Yesterday we did have the audio podcast, the Fireman Rich audio podcast over there on Spotify for Creators, which is part of Spotify, at Fireman Rich on Spotify, at Fireman Rich on Spotify. And the interesting article we had is there was a citizen scientist who was from Germany. They had all this data as far as that goes. Let's see. Do you still have your? Yeah, it's upstairs. It's upstairs in the attic. I got out in 1997, Hallie. So yeah, the uniform is up there. I think all old veterans have their old uniforms. But the audio podcast yesterday, we had an interesting article about a citizen um, scientist. He's called a citizen scientist that was looking at all this old data that was collected from a retired space telescope, the Kepler telescope. I think that was from the European Space Agency, the Kepler. And this data, the Kepler spanned for exoplanets during its survey of 8 years, some 500,000 stars. So there's a lot of data they're still sifting through. And Hallie says, I love the U.S. uniforms. My favorite president is JFK. I'm pro U.S. Okay. Yeah, my favorite president is Abraham Lincoln. He did. If you look on history, what he accomplished and all that stuff. Liberty says, I have to ask, does the old No, you know it doesn't. I'm be honest with you, it doesn't. Maybe the hat, but no. I got an extra 40 pounds on my belt there, Liberty. That's a good one. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't. Yeah, I knew what you meant, JFK. Yeah, he's one of America's great presidents there, Hallie. Thank you. And but Abraham Lincoln is my number one president, and then Ronald Reagan, like I said during the quote, I love Ronald Reagan. He was my commander chief. I was still in the Air Force. He was my commander in chief when I was still in the military. And as far as I go, but Abraham Lincoln by far is the only one that is probably better than Abraham Lincoln would be George Washington. You look at those two presidents, and George Washington, a founding father, our first president. The trials and the issues that they had to conquer are almost well. George Washington, he's in charge of the Continental Army, fighting the big guy, the Great Britain, and the birth of a nation. And then Abraham Lincoln trying to hold a country together. I mean, Abraham Lincoln, you read a lot of history about Abraham Lincoln. It's just mind-boggling and stuff like that. Yeah, Ronald Reagan's one-liners were the best. Yeah, he had a lot of good ones. So getting back to the audio podcast here that I did yesterday, this guy, he looked through this data and he found this one exoplanet. It's probably the closest one that a lot of it's known as it's a K dwarf star designated at HD 1370110, and it's about 146 light years away as far as it goes. And you respect founding fathers in general. Oh, that's General Grant, Ulysses Grant. He was another president, President Grant. He was one of the generals that we needed to have during the Civil War. General Grant. There's a lot of history with him. Sorry, shopping. Change the subject. No problem. We're just continuing on with the broadcast here, Hallie. So yesterday was audio podcast. I just go over what I do for the week here also. So next Tuesday, we'll be doing the Mixcloud broadcast, the Tioga radio show where I present 8 songs. So we won't be doing an audio podcast until next Thursday, as far as that goes. Now, we're going to go ahead. Oh, we've been on for an hour already, but I guess this is a longer one, Tina. We're going to go into 100 years ago. I just looked at the clock. Oh, my God. I just looked at the clock. We've been talking for an hour here. So let's see. 100 years ago. Let's get this set up. I'm sorry. Oh, it's top of the hour already. Well, it's a good thing we started early. So if I would have started at 6:15, it would be right on schedule here. Let me go ahead. We got 100 years ago here. Let me go ahead and set up for that for Roger Luther, who's the Broome County Welcome Rumble campaign ad. Ads will be okay. I accept the terms. Okay, that's just new. Okay. Let's go ahead and bring this down. Roger Luther is the historian for Broome County, which is the next county over here from Tioga County, the county I live in. And I have no affiliation with Fox 40 or any other news agency that we're going to be looking at today. Their web pages, I just show them. I'm a consumer of their web pages, and we look at them it gives you an idea, my viewers here, the people that are watching the live stream, what it's like here in the southern tier of upstate New York, where I live and reside. So let's go ahead and bring this up and get this going. And let's see where we got this here. And oh, you were in an ad. Okay, and I'm back. Okay, thank you for telling me about that. I don't get the notifications for the ads anymore. I think it's because I'm off on the Twitter, or I don't have the Twitch. I got the history up here. No problem, Tina. We'll get to 100 years ago here. So this is 100 years ago. Let's see what happened here in the southern tier of upstate New York. This one was. I don't think we have any crime. I played this yesterday for the audio on the audio podcast yesterday, and so I've already listened to this one. This is for 100 years ago, February 4th, which is this past Wednesday. And let's see what this is all about here. Let's get it started here. Here we go.
100 years ago was a booming time for Broome County, from the construction of a new church to a winter storm dumping 18 inches of snow on Broome County. Broome County historian Roger Luther has the news that made headlines here 100 years ago today, brought to you by UHS.
100 years ago today, Park Avenue Baptist Church is having a new church built on Vestal Avenue at the corner of Rush Avenue. The church was forced to move from its former building on Park Avenue to make way for a large new addition to the city hospital. Police report that there has been a big increase in panhandlers in the city streets, and several of them have been arrested since the beginning of the year. Snowstorm beginning late yesterday and continuing today deposited 18 inches of snow in the city by noon. And finally, police report that all the streets that have been set aside for coasting are in excellent condition. Special officers are on duty every day, with one officer at the top of the hill and another at the bottom, to protect the children from getting hurt. That was the news, February 4th, 1926.
And I think what they meant by coasting, they had streets in Binghamton where they would sled down, okay? They would, so they had police officers posted there so that the kids wouldn't get hurt. Snowstorm 100 years ago this past Wednesday, 18 inches. Well, we got 14 inches here a couple weeks ago. So that's pretty, 100 years later, another storm. And the panhandlers, yeah, that's the first time we've heard of panhandlers. Yeah, that's what I was saying when I heard about that, panhandlers in Binghamton and stuff. But the first one, 100 years ago, the Park Avenue Baptist Church is having a new church built on Vestal Avenue. Well, that church still exists, and that's this church right here. I think this church has been mentioned before. That's the Park Avenue Church. It's still there in Binghamton. As far as that goes, let me bring it up here. Is it showing? Yeah, there it is. You can see that's the. So I think I've showed this church before, because the rose window above the windows there in the middle that looks familiar. So it's but that's the Park. Is it Park Avenue, or what did they say? It was Vestal. The Park Avenue. Let's see. Let me bring this up here so I can look at it here. Let's see. Yeah, the Park Avenue Baptist Church that's on Vestal Ave. It's at the Park Ave. Maybe the main church. That's one of the other churches and stuff like that. So, so see photos. So which one is this? I'm just looking at some of the pictures here. So it's a pretty nice church. So that's good to see when we do 100 years ago, as far as the to see if the structure is still there. So not the crime wave that we had on Monday's thing. I did forget, we were talking with Hallie, and I got sort of sidetracked. To finish out the world times and temperatures, we stopped in New York City, and I got sidetracked. When I was watching this, wait a minute, we didn't finish the world times and temperature. So across the pond, the Atlantic Ocean, in London, UK, at 12:02 p.m., 48 degrees Fahrenheit and cloudy. In Milan, Italia, the Olympics start this weekend, I believe, in Milan and Cortina. But in Milan at 1:03 p.m., they're just finishing up manja lunchtime there. Sunny and clear in Milan, 54 degrees Fahrenheit. In the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, where Thamar is at, in Riyadh, 3:03 p.m. It's 70 degrees in Riyadh, cloudy skies. Skipping over to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia at 8:03 p.m. in their evening, clear skies, 79 degrees in Kuala Lumpur. In Tokyo, Japan at 9:03 p.m. in their evening, cloudy skies with a little clearing, 48 degrees Fahrenheit. And down under on the great continent and in the great country of Australia, friends and allies, Australia is in Melbourne at 11:03 p.m. Clear skies, 63 degrees Fahrenheit. And in Sydney at 11:03 p.m. currently, cloudy skies with a little clearing, 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's finishing up our world times and temperatures as I speak. And in the rest of history, 58 years ago, Apollo 14 astronaut Alan Shepard did one last thing before leaving the surface of the moon. Something he had been planning for years. And this is the one memorable thing. I remember watching this on TV, and I'm going, oh my God. He teed up a golf shot. He ended up teeing. He's the only astronaut that ever, the NASA commander, and Alan Shepard was the first American in outer space on Mercury back on May 5th, 1963. Or was it 62? It's okay, Tina. We'll see you later. Let's see, Alan Shepard. Let me bring him up. He's a great American astronaut. Oh, Alan. Alan Shepard, he's from New Hampshire. He walked on the moon on Apollo 14 in 1971. And, it was he was the first American, it was 1961. He became the second person and the first person in space was a Russian, a Soviet Union, a cosmonaut. The first American to travel into space was Alan Shepard. So, Liberty's saying bye to Tina. Take care. Stay warm. Yeah, she's going over to see Hal. So, the NASA commander Alan Shepard, when he was on Apollo 14, brought a 6-iron. They're allowed to bring one thing. He brought a 6-iron club head on board inside the spacesuit pocket, which had a fitting on it for attaching to a handle of the lunar sample scoop, because they only had so much weight. So he got this, was able to Mickey Mouse it on one of the handles there. They scoop up soil samples, and he topped and sliced his first 2 swings, but finally hit 2 balls during them miles and miles and miles, he told Mission Control, who listened. It was just something, just to see. He was golfing. Those 2 golf balls, if they were to find them and brought them back to the States, it's the longest golf shot ever, as far as that goes. So after the fun, he removed the golf club head from the handle and brought it back to Earth, where it's currently on display in the U.S. Golf Association Hall of Fame in New Jersey. So that's something. Let's see. Other history. In 1840, the founding document of the New Zealand, the Treaty of Waitangi was signed, whatever that was. In 1952, Queen Elizabeth ascended to the British throne to eventually become the longest-serving Queen of England. In 1958, George Harrison joins the Quarrymen, which was the group before they became the Beatles. The Liverpool group featured John Lennon, who named the band after the school, and his schoolmate Paul McCartney. So they eventually became, with George Harrison, the Beatles. And we're talking about Poland. The Polish government back in 1989 began roundtable talks in Warsaw with a banned trade union and its leader, Lech Wałęsa, the future president of Poland, during which the authorities gave in to majority demands of the once outlawed union solidarity, as far as that goes. Double J's, here you go. Let's see. Oh, you're Double J's here. Hey, Double J's. Oh, it's very controversial there. Oh, you're saying where you're at. You're supposed to be in an undisclosed location. You're not supposed to give us. Hey, Double J's. That's interesting. It is controversial, is it? Okay, because that's been around. That's been around since 1840. That's interesting. I'm not going to say the country, but I'm going to still say you're in an undisclosed location in the southern hemisphere. You gave it away. Too much information. No, I'm just kidding. Glad to have you, Double J's. Hope all is well with you, coming in from an undisclosed location in the southern hemisphere. But that's interesting what you said. That it is a controversial. I'm gonna have to look that up now, find out why it is. It's because I don't know. That's a document that started like back in 1840. Wow. Good to have you coming in. And for those folks that are watching, Double J's is originally from India. That's his home country. A great country, another great country, as we're talking about great countries. As far as that goes, I love the Indian space. I always have to say this, Double J's. I love their space program. Let's see what else. In 1778, let's see. Double J says, yeah, the document got lost in transit from England to Mare. Really? So they don't practice it, I guess. I don't know. There's the controversy. There's only some people that actually know what's on it. So there's other people that take it out of context. Maybe, I don't know. 1778, during the American Revolutionary War, the United States won official recognition and military support from France with the signature of the Treaty of Alliance in Paris. And let's see. Yep, India and U.S. signed a free trade agreement. Oh, did we? Okay. I got to look that up here. Let me see. Long story, treaty still applies. Okay, gotcha. Long story. That says it in a nutshell. Gotcha. Most treaties are a long story, Double J's. We've seen enough of them and stuff like that. Let's see. Let's see. In 1921, The Kid, Charlie Chaplin's first feature-length film, was released across the United States. 1998, Washington National Airport, and I flew into that airport a couple of times, was renamed Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport, honoring the former president and 87th president. And 2022, Queen Elizabeth II, she was still alive, celebrated her 70th anniversary of her ascension to the British throne. Is unprecedented reign that made her a symbol of stability and of the United Kingdom. I wish I could say that about the king. I'm not too hip on the king as far as that goes. King Charles. Double J says, yeah, I'm not a fan of the old British Empire. They created trouble whenever they ruled outside Britain. Yeah. Well, look at the United States. We didn't like it either. We kicked them out, just like you guys did in India. Well, peacefully, you guys did, I think. Well, it wasn't really all that peaceful, but they tried to be peaceful. Mahatma Gandhi and stuff like that. The British, they got a little too bold. They became the bully on the block. So there's our history as far as that goes. And I've been jabbering for an hour. We're gonna be going for over 2 hours. I don't got any place to go. We're gonna take a break here because my coffee's cold and I need to get a refresh. Even the cold coffee tastes good. Oh, this cup, I get honey. I get to put honey into my coffee here. And let's see, Double J's. And it says, yeah, the Israel-Palestine issue, its roots are from, yeah, I agree with that. There's some, the British, they were, even during World War II, they were doing what the hell are they doing? There was something during World War II. Winston Churchill and Stalin, they were dividing up Greece or something like that. And that was the dirty little secret that Britain didn't want the United States allies to know. And when FDR found out, he says, you guys are what? It's like, you don't do that. We don't do that anymore. We live in a modern society. So those are those things as far as concerning history there that are interesting. I forget what they had a side treaty that even though Winston Churchill didn't trust Stalin, and Stalin didn't trust either one. But there's something I watch a show on the History Channel, the Color of World War II, and they always get to that part when they go over the campaigns in Greece. They said between the Britain and Russia, they were dividing it up and stuff like that. And the United States, they got word of that. So you can't do that. You guys let it. So yeah, Great Britain, they did a lot of sneaky things back in the day, I guess. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take a break here, folks, and we will be right back as far as that goes. And I'm going to go refresh my coffee here. I got to open up the shades here and starting to get daylight out and all that. So and let's see. Liberty said, "Okay, Liberty, thank you for dropping in. Appreciate it. You have a great day and weekend." She's saying, "Have a great day and weekend, everyone. Take care and stay warm tomorrow. It's going to be a cold one. It'll be a cold one. I might just have a special broadcast for the coldness tomorrow. We'll see what happens tomorrow. If not, I'll be." And Double J says, "You always the window shade. You always have the window shades up during." Yeah, well, overnight, Double J's, they're down because it's cold at night. That retains the heat in the room as far as that goes. The cold comes through the window and it sort of keeps it at bay a little bit. That's why they're down. Yeah, I usually have them open. That's because it's above 30 some degrees Fahrenheit. When it's down below, especially when it's down below 20 degrees overnight, we close them. It makes the room, it makes the house a lot warmer. It retains the heat a little bit better as far as that goes. And let's see. Oh, got you. Practice got you. Okay, so you understand what that concept. They'll be up after the break here. I put them up and stuff like that. Yeah, it's winter. It's because of the winter. There's certain, when it gets really cold, we're in this cold snap. They'll be down tonight also and stuff. It just retains, not totally, but there is a slight difference, like almost like a 5 to 10 degree difference as far as that goes. And well, maybe a couple degrees, 5 degree difference and stuff as far as that goes, depending on how cold it gets. And it got cold overnight as far as that goes. All right, folks, I will be right back, and you guys just hang loose, and we'll see you in a couple minutes here, and I will be right back as far as that goes. Bless you. Jeez Louise. All right, we'll be right back. open mic. Okay. I had a few extra things to do here as far as that goes. So, but we are back. We are back here on the Fireman or the Friday morning coffee for 02.06.2026 at Rumble video broadcast here on Rumble. And we got the second. Oh, I forgot to put the honey in. Oh, I'll save it for my third cup. But we're back. Door fixed. Okay, there we go. Hammer coming in from Riyadh, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. There, he got his door fixed. So you got it done. That's good to hear. You give me inspiration to fix my door this weekend. Well, it's not fixing; it's changing out a door handle and putting a deadbolt on and stuff. But we have the templates to where we can where I can hopefully guide me through the process. So glad to hear you got that done. Oh, coffee's tasting good this morning. Yeah, that's a little bit longer than normal on the thing. I had a few extra things I had to do here. One or two different additional things I had to do that I don't normally do and stuff like that. Usually it's 2 beats. I don't know how many beats it was. Probably about 4 beats there on the we will be back section there and stuff like that. So, but we are back, and I've got the web pages up here. We're going to go over the web pages. Hopefully got some new. We haven't had any news Monday or Wednesday. Well, Wednesday was a short broadcast because me and the missus had some stuff to do along with getting my car inspected. So that went good. It's good for another year. So let's see. Let me go ahead and bring this down. And where's that? Oh, right here. Here we go. No, that's not it. Oh, there it is. There. That's what we want to do. We want to remove that. And let's see. We're coming up on an hour and 43 minutes. We're talking long. Have a long interlude there, break as far as that goes, and we'll see what happens here with the web pages I'm about to present. And there are various news agencies here. The first one was Fox 40. We'll be looking at them. WEBO, WNBF. They're a radio station out of Binghamton. WBNG, which is CBS affiliate in Johnson City. WAAL, another radio station. Channel 34 out of Binghamton. WENY out of Elmira. They got the extreme cold weather for Saturday at 4 a.m. Channel 18 out of Elmira. We've got the Penny Saver. It doesn't look like there's much on the Penny Saver. So WKGB. Man, okay? We're talking about. I guess the big news in the United States here right now is Savannah Guthrie, who is the daughter of. Her daughter is a person that talks on the Today Show Today Show
Savannah Guthrie's the one on the Today Show.
Oh, okay, that's right. Savannah Guthrie's mom. I guess the latest. Oh, that's the 5th. That was yesterday. They got here, man who sent an imposter ransom note. Oh, okay, yeah, there was an imposter that sent a ransom note for that. So that's the big news that's been in the news all this week. Because she's an older lady. What the hell? I don't know. It's just strange. That's what has captured the United States here. We got KISS 104. We'll look at them and see what we have for news. Spectrum News 1. We have 106.5 Country WYRK up there in Buffalo, and their sister station Power 93.7 WBLK. We'll be looking at these web pages to show you what's going on here in the southern tier of upstate New York, and also New York State as a whole. But first, let's get to the sports. Sports starting Wednesday night in the NBA. Knicks beat the Nuggets 134 to 127, and Celtics beat the Rockets 114 to 93. Go Celtics! I'm an avid Celtic fan. Last night, the Brooklyn Nets lost to the Magic, and that's the only team that played last night. Today, the Knicks will be playing the Pistons. They're in first place, the Pistons, so that should be a good game. at 7:30 tonight. Celtics play the Heat up there in Boston Garden at 7:30. And then tomorrow, the Nets, Brooklyn Nets, will be playing the Wizards tomorrow at 3 in the afternoon. And what else? Sunday, we're going to have the Celtics and Knicks playing. That's interesting. That's a 12:30 game. I'll have to watch that game if I remember. Okay, in NHL action, Wednesday night, the Bruins lost to the Panthers. I like the Bruins. I've seen the Bruins play up in Boston a couple of times, and it's the only pro team I've ever seen. But I do like the Buffalo Sabres and New York Islanders and New York Rangers, which none of them played Wednesday night. Last night, the Islanders beat the Devils 3-1, and that was it for that. And today, Buffalo Sabres will be playing the Devils tonight at 7. And 25th. Oh, wait a minute. That's the 25th. Okay. No, after tonight, or no, there's no there's no NHL until the 25th. And that's after the Olympics. So the NFL action is sort of took a time out there. Yeah, they don't come back to play until the February 25th. I think that's due to the Olympics. Of course, the big game this Sunday, the NFL Super Bowl between the Seahawks and Patriots. I'm picking the Seattle Seahawks. And let's see what we got. Hang on for a minute. Okay,
Morning, sunshine.
Okay, it's somebody calling us. The Super Bowl. Okay.
Something strange.
Yeah,
because
hang on for a
sometimes
minute.
my
Hang on
phone-
for a minute, folks. Okay, yeah, she's going to go in the living room there. It's family. Thank you. It's a Mrs. talking to family. So we got the big game in the NFL. As far as NFL news, we don't have anything. Let's see, Rams quarterback. Oh, Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford wins the NFL MVP. Okay, he wins the MVP. And did Josh Allen prevent Drake May from winning the NFL MVP? I don't know. The stats, they go by the stats on that. So it would, in a close vote, the closest vote since 2003, they're saying it, according to ESPN. Matthew Stafford. That's the big news in NFL, other than the Super Bowl. So let's see what we got here. Let's see. Got the news back there and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens here. In other football, Manchester City Football Club won in the EFL Cup semifinal against Newcastle 3-1, and they play this Sunday at 11:30 a.m. against Liverpool in the Premier League. So we'll go ahead and I am a Manchester City Football Club. Thamer, thoughts on the Super Bowl? Let's see. My thoughts on the Super Bowl are that Seattle's going to win. I want Seattle to win. The one part of the Super Bowl that I won't be watching is the halftime show. I don't think you were here when I was when we starting out the broadcast here. That I'm not too hip. I don't know the guy who's going to be doing the Super Bowl, and I'm just going to turn it off. I have that right, and I'm going to execute. I don't really care for the individual from what I've heard about him and stuff. I think my feelings is in the Super Bowl, it should be an American a performer that performs at the Super Bowl, and that's just my opinion. You can agree or disagree. Yeah, that's your prerogative. But I will be watching the Super Bowl football game, but I will not be watching the halftime show, as far as that goes. And it's not my. I guess from what I've seen concerning this individual's music, it's not my cup of tea. I'll just leave it at that. As far as that goes, there's some other things as well as far as that goes, but I'm a strong believer that there should be an American performer that performs at the Super Bowl. The NFL is trying to make it international and stuff like that. So this guy has a, I guess is I don't think he's Spanish, but he's definitely not an American, that's for sure. So it's not my kind of music and stuff like that. Plus, and I think there's going to be a lot of other people that won't be bothered with the Super Bowl. Let's face it, in the Super Bowl, the halftime shows over the last couple of years has sucked. They're not really entertaining. I mean, I say, geez, where's Michael Jackson when you need him? He had a Super Bowl. I remember his Super Bowl performance. Despite his indiscretions and stuff, he still was a great performer as far as that goes. Even his sister, and when his sister had the clothing malfunction, that was that was more entertaining and stuff like that. But I think they place too much emphasis on NFL being an international thing and stuff like that. So I guess it's catered more for the international audience and stuff like that. So, but I will be watching the game. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think Seattle will win. They're the favorite, I think by at least 4 to 5 points. And just what they did against, they took care of San Francisco. They took care of Los Angeles, the Rams. Who did New England? New England, if you really look at their schedule, even the talking heads are saying they had a light schedule. It's a good turnaround. My hat's off to them, but I don't think they're going to have it in them. When their playoff game against Denver, when they beat Denver, was sort of lackluster. Where if you look at the Seattle Seahawks, they were just romping. They were just playing good football as far as that goes, up to the championship level. So that's my take. We'll be talking about it Monday as far as if there's any controversial calls and stuff like that. So that's my take on the Super Bowl. Let's see, Fox 40. Let's see what we got here. Southern Tier Trailblazers, Frederick Douglasson connection to the Southern Tier. Of course, this is Black History Month here in the United States, and we have a tie to Frederick. Yep, we'll get you. We'll get you there, girl. Just hang on. She likes to jump the gun. There is a connection to Frederick Douglasson, who was a great American here in the United States back during. He was also sort of an unofficial advisor. Him and Abraham Lincoln talked a lot back in the day. A great American. And let's see what this is all about here. Let me bring this up here. I got to start this again. The present. Share. And let's see. Let me get this set up here real quick. Okay, we got that. No, we're not going to share. We're going to start sharing there. But Frederick Douglasson, for those that don't know who he is, he's a great American abolition and orator. Orator, I mean, he can speak very well. I believe he was an American social reformer, abolitionist, orator, writer, and statesman. He was the most important leader in the movement for the African American civil rights in the 19th century. He lived to be 77 years old, where he passed away in Washington, D.C. But we have some people here in the Southern Tier that are connected with Mr. Douglasson. So let's go ahead and see what this is all about. Here we go.
Tonight we begin a series honoring Black History Month where we tell you about Southern Tier Trailblazers. Fox 40's TJAC has the story on one of history's most famous black men and how he made his mark in upstate New York.
Frederick Douglass is one of the most well-known black men in modern history, and he has a connection to the Southern Tier through the family of one of the most famous writers of all time.
If you have lived within the last 200 years, you probably have heard of Frederick Douglass.
During his lifetime, he was absolutely the most famous black man on the planet, let alone in the United States. Today, he might be somewhere in the top 5.
Douglas, a former slave, is one of the most seminal figures in American history, known for his work as an abolitionist during the 1800s. It's some of that work that brought Douglas to the Southern tier.
In 1848, he came and gave a anti-slavery speech here at a schoolhouse actually not far from where we're standing right now.
It was through a connection with Jervis Langdon, an ardent abolitionist in his own right, that Douglas came to spend time in Elmira. Langdon was the father-in-law of Mark Twain, the world-renowned American author of such titles as The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Twain spent his summers in Elmira, while Langdon lived in the city at the Langdon home. Douglas, meanwhile, as a friend of Langdon, made his way to Elmira to speak against slavery and champion its abolishment abroad.
He was here again on August 3rd, 1880, to celebrate the anniversary of Britain's abolishment of slavery, which happened in 1846. He participated in a parade of Black delegates and marching bands and a Black National Guard unit that went from the train station to Grove Park.
As for Douglas and Twain, the two formed a relationship built on respect for one another.
They met in 1869 and they were friendly friends, not close friends, but whenever they ran into each other, it was, "Oh, hi, how you doing?"
Twain even used some of his political sway to help Douglas land a bureaucratic position in Washington, D.C.
He plugged for President Garfield in the election of 1880, and he used his connections with President Garfield to help arrange an appointment as the recorder for the city of Washington, D.C.
Douglas would go on to serve as a statesman, and his impact on the abolitionist movement is still felt today. He will always be remembered as one of the most influential members of Black culture in United States history.
Douglas was an amazing orator. He was also a prolific writer. He held a number of positions within the United States government. He was an outspoken advocate for the freedom of the enslaved, but also for women and for improving the lives of Black folk across the United States.
Douglas lived until February 20th, 1895. He will forever be a part of upstate New York. Douglas is buried at Mount Hope Cemetery in Rochester. Now, many of the photographs used in this story are from the Library of Congress. We'd also like to thank the Chemung County Historical Society for its assistance in this report.
So there we have it, Frederick Douglass. I didn't realize where his final resting spot up there in Rochester, New York. He did help the women's movement back in the early 1900s. Frederick Douglass had an effect on that, but his final resting spot is Rochester. And Elmira, that's just a 20-minute drive west of here, that way. And that's the final resting spot of Mark Twain. Mark Twain's final resting spot is there in Elmira, New York. And they were good friends. Not great friends. I thought that I was under the impression they were great friends. I remember hearing, through the history that I've studied, that Mark Twain did get Frederick Douglass a position down there in Washington, D.C. and stuff, and high up. And then Mr. Douglass, he spoke a couple times with Abraham Lincoln, as far as on his views of the day. The main concern was slavery back in the day, as far as that goes. So some great history, it's, even more so than what I know. I didn't realize he was here in Elmira. That's the first I've heard about that, as far as that goes. I knew he was in New York State, and even his final resting place up there in Rochester, New York, which is about an hour and a half drive going up towards upstate, more upstate than where I'm at, to go to Buffalo. You go out towards Elmira, past Elmira, you hit the highway going sort of semi-north. Rochester's over here, and then you make a left on 90, and you go down towards into Buffalo. So there we have it. As far as that goes, it's pretty interesting stuff. A great American, just like Martin Luther King. This month is Black History Month, and we have a good amount of history as far as that goes for the Black Americans, African Americans, I guess you could say. They are Americans. Okay, let's see what else we got on Fox. That was a good one. I like stories like that. It's let's see, that was right at the top of the thing. Let's see what we have. We did that was last night, I guess, on the news. What else do we got here? Let's see. I think that's it for Fox 40. Oh, let's see. WEBO. What do we have on WEBO? Nothing on WEBO. Let's go to WNBF. There's always something on WNBF, isn't there? No, don't have it. Let's see what the updated articles are. Warming centers open. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of warming centers opened up for the next couple of days as far as that goes. And they had in Binghamton, they had an illegal nightclub close. Let's see what that's about. Let's see. I won't show the picture. Let's show the picture, I guess. When we listen to 100 years ago, we always hear about an illegal. Back then it was you had prohibition and stuff like that. But let's see what this looks. This just looks like a regular store, but I guess it was. Let's go ahead and read this one here. On WNBF, this is a radio station, news radio out of Binghamton. And it said, authorities say an illegal after-hours club in Binghamton neighborhood has been shut down. City police in recent months have been monitoring activities at the building at 333 Clinton Street in the First Ward. Officials had noticed social media posts promoting events at the site that were scheduled to start 3 a.m. What the hell? The announcement indicated the place was hosting a SantaCon after party and a sexy marquee. Okay, this is a little. The city last month issued lockdown warnings to the owner of the property, advising him to steps would be taken to shut down illegal activities at the site. Didn't stop. The mayor on Thursday, which is yesterday, said the owner has taken steps to put an end to the operation of after-hours nightclub. The Clinton Street property is owned by somebody who lives in the Binghamton West Ward. Wednesday signed indicating he was been charged and locked, prevent access to persons. So they locked the place down. They locked the joint down as far as that goes. And let's see. Advertised on social media and got caught. That's dumb. Yeah, exactly. Double chase. It doesn't even look, so they were doing some illegal activities there. They don't have a license to be opened or anything like that. So it's just, that's pretty funny. But you look at the place, it looks like there's an apartment upstairs, but downstairs, all the windows are dark and stuff like that. So that's That's funny. There are some dumb people in this world, I guess, Double J's. Let's see. WBNG. Let's check what we have over here. Let's see. Nothing there. And they're talking about first alert. Dangerous cold ahead. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. How long is this? Let's go ahead and look at this. This is concerning the dangerous cold ahead of for this weekend. I'll give you a better idea of what we're facing here as far as temperatures and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and bring this up and see what it says. Here we go.
Well, we are starting off our day with a few more clouds here across the region. I do think we'll see some sunshine as well, at least early today, but then we are looking at those clouds building back in. And then, yeah, you guessed it. It's going to be a very unpleasant weekend ahead for the region. Satellite radar picking up maybe a few isolated snowflakes right now. Nothing too crazy, but the wider view does show this Clipper system pushing its way through the Great Lakes region. We're watching that carefully because that's going to be what sets off what's going to be a very cold weekend ahead. So these headlines here, yeah, that bit of cold air, it's arriving later on this evening. We are looking at dangerous wind chills for the weekend. We're also dealing with first alert days for Saturday and Sunday to account for these dangerously cold conditions. However, the good news is, as we head towards next week, more seasonal temperatures do seem to return to the region. Temperatures right now starting off in the single digits and low double digits. Vestal at 11, Airport currently at 14, 6 up in Whitney Point, 6 in Stanford, 12 in Delhi, 9 currently in Oneonta. Extreme cold warnings. They upgraded the extreme cold watches to warnings. Not surprised by this. We are looking at these going on into effect tomorrow morning, continuing on until Sunday afternoon. So what can we expect here? Well, the first alert details, dangerous wind chills expected both days. That's something that we have been hounding on for the last couple of days here. Something to be aware of. Wind gusts tomorrow, gusts over 40 miles an hour, which will make it kind of blizzard-like here across the region. While we are seeing some snow fall, it's not going to be a lot, but it will reduce visibility quite a bit as you're head out and about for any errands you might have. So be aware of that. Power outage is certainly possible, and single-digit highs on both days. Frozen pipes possible. Not going to be pleasant by any stretch of the imagination. You'll notice today those highs climb into the mid-20s, and then look what happens as we head overnight. Those temperatures drop down. Do not think it's going to be as cold as this, but what I do think some spots will be stuck below zero for those high temperatures tomorrow. It's going to be that cold. And as we head on into Sunday here, looking at overnight lows falling down into the upper below zero single digit range, maybe even some spots falling down closer to 15 degrees below zero as we head towards Sunday. And then we got to factor in the winds. Yeah, the winds are going to be a huge factor tomorrow, gusting upwards of nearly 40 to 45 miles an hour. Like I mentioned, isolated power outages certainly possible. You need to be aware of that. If you have generators, get them on standby, but do not put them in your house. You can get carbon monoxide poisoning if you do that. And you'll notice these winds do die down a bit, but we're still looking at some pretty breezy conditions heading towards Sunday morning. So what about these wind chills? You don't need to be a meteorologist. Look at these numbers and realize it's just downright chilly. I mean, 32 below is what our in-house model is projecting for wind chills at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Then you'll notice that not much improvement here as we head towards Saturday night. As we head towards Sunday, it's going to be even colder off towards the east. You're going to want to bundle up here across the region. Snow does arrive later on today. There's that Arctic front. Could see a few snow squalls as well develop. And then we are looking at some cloudy skies here throughout the rest. Snowfall-wise, yeah, Puddle's getting in on the action here. He's making a snow angel instead of holding an umbrella. Looking at about 1 to 3 inches of snow here across the region with the potential to see slightly higher amounts. Like I mentioned, we are looking at some milder temperatures as we enter next week, but this weekend looking rather brutal for the region.
Okay, so there's our temperatures going into the weekend, 2 degrees. 6 degrees during the day, negatives overnight as far as that goes. And Double J says you got a place named Delhi there. Yeah, Delhi. There's a SUNY campus there, and yeah, Delhi. That's up there, heading up towards Albany there on Route 8. Oh, where's Delhi? That's on set. Oh, it's in the Catskills. Catskills Mountain. Isn't there a college there? Yeah, that's a big college town there, Double J's. So yeah, Delhi. It's a nice community. It's in the Catskill Mountains. Very nice area. Very cold. It gets colder there than it does here, as far as that goes, Double J's. And but yeah, I like what you said. Cold weekend, stay in bed. Exactly. It's going to be a cold one, folks. And the the missus has no problem staying in bed. And that article that I just presented, I got to start up the generator as far as make sure that I got gas for the generator, but I got to crank that up. Last time I cranked it up was a couple weeks ago before the storm. So it's with the freezing temperatures. That means tree limbs will freeze and they could fall down on power lines because they'll be so heavy with ice and stuff like that. And or keep warm, stay indoors. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a cold one, folks. So that's on WBNG, the weather. They do a good job for the weather for the area as far as that goes. And let's see, what else do we have on there? Do we have anything else? I am not seeing anything. So that's it there. As far as for WBNG, WAAL Whale, it's a sister channel of WNBF and WNBF there. They talk about warming centers also there. Channel 34. What do we have on Channel 34? Anything? Nothing on Channel 34. And then WENY. This is out in Elmira. Do they have anything on Frederick Douglass? I don't think so. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything. No, they're talking about extreme cold also. I guess that's the big news and stuff like that. Let me just check the local things here as far as that. They're out in Elmira. And I am not seeing anything. Okay, let's check Channel 18. Channel 18 is also out there in Elmira, New York. And I am not seeing anything out there. Okay. Then, of course, there's nothing on the Penny Saver. They're talking about a new place opening, I guess. And let's see, WKGB. They talk about, let me bring this up. This is the radio station in Binghamton. And I mentioned it, so let's go ahead and share this. That's Savannah Guthrie with her mom. And Savannah Guthrie, she's a news entity on the Today Show, NBC. And her mother's been kidnapped. But a ransom note that was sent to TMZ claimed that Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of the Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie, is safe but scared and aware of the demands made of her return. The outlet founder, Henry Levin, told Fox News' Sean Hannity that, so it went to TMZ, but it was false. He says, I will say the letter begins by saying she is safe but scared, and they go to say she knows exactly what the demands is, Levin said of the note, which demands millions of Bitcoin in order for to be used as a ransom, I guess. They are, though, through us telling the family exactly what their demands are and are saying that Nancy is aware of it. They are also saying that this will be the only communication, and they are done communicating, negotiating. Here's the deal. As the clock ticks, that's one of the reasons the FBI and others got involved. But he says the ransom note obtained by TMZ claimed Nancy is safe but scared, sets hard deadlines. Maybe it is true. Maybe that is a true one. I will say the letter begins by saying she's safe but scared. A California man, okay, this is where there was a phony ransom. A California man was identified as a man charged after sending a separate phony message. Okay, so the first one for the Bitcoin, that's a legit ransom note. But there was a second one, a phantom ransom note concerning this, regarding Nancy, mother of Nancy, of Savannah, Nancy Guthrie. Accordingly, to claim criminal complaint filed Thursday, Michael Roos reported Derek Collalay messaged Nancy's daughter, Anna, and her husband with false information about the missing woman. Did you get the Bitcoin waiting? They're talking about the Bitcoin or something like that. But there was a suspect that allegedly imposted a ransom note to try and cash in on it. The arrest was made prior to the authorities confirming that Nancy was still believed to be missing hours after Savannah and her siblings made plea for their mother. So this is an ongoing story. So they'll have some updates and stuff like that. And we hope she is well as far as that goes. So this is capturing the United States here as far as that goes. And that's on WKGB. And let's see, on KISS 104, they're talking about the weather. That's another sister channel of WNBF and WAAL. Spectrum News. Anything on Spectrum News? I'm not seeing anything. I always thought Spectrum News would have some stuff, but they don't have anything. Let's see. Buffalo channels here. WYRK 106.5. Buffalo's #1 country. Oh, nothing there. They don't even have anything about the Bills on their page. Huh. I guess it's quiet up there. Let's see. The other one, Power 93.7. And I'm not seeing anything there as well. Let's see. And it's just hockey over on WGR 550. I might drop them because they're not going to be Buffalo Bills official. Let's see. 1440 went to Dark. Hey, Farmer, how you doing? Farmer coming in. How we doing? Something is so strange about the whole case. The poor woman. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Yeah, what I was just reading there. I mean, there's a ransom note, TMZ. That was a legit, or was it, the Savannah Guthrie's mom's being kidnapped? And I guess they're from Australia, or she's from Australia. So I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm not too. I saw a little bit of the press conference yesterday, Farmer, and let's just say that sheriff. I don't know about that sheriff. I don't know. I have no idea as far as that goes. And we'll just have just our prayers and our thoughts and prayers are with the family, and hopefully they will get the guy and stuff like that. Good to have you here, Farmer. Hope all is well. Stay warm. It's getting cold here in the southern tier of upstate New York. And where did you say you were from? Are you from the Northeast? I can't remember. I think you mentioned where you're from and stuff like that. I forgot. I thought I had it written down here. I thought I wrote it down. I always write down or try to at least, as far as that goes. Let's see. I mentioned how the Olympics are supposed to be starting next week. Well, I think they're starting. Let's see. The 2026 Winter Olympics. They officially start tonight in Milan, marking Italy's third time hosting the Winter Games. The ceremony takes place in San Siro Stadium with 2,916 athletes from 92 nations, from 92 National Olympic Committees, including 232 from the U.S. The live ceremonies begin at 2 p.m. This afternoon on NBC or Peacock. The Milan Cortina Games span nearly 8,500 miles across northern Italy, combining Milan's urban area and Cortina alpine venue for the skiing, more than 250 road miles apart. It's the first time dual host Olympics, promoting substantially and reuse with nearly 90% existing of the temporary venues. The closing ceremonies is set for Verona. I've been to Verona. That's Verona, Italy. That's where the story Romeo and Juliet took place. But the closing ceremonies will be in Verona, 100 miles east of Milan. All is well here. Okay, that's right. You're in Virginia. I forgot. You're in Virginia. You wanted to go to West Virginia. When we talk. Okay, thank you. I'll make sure I remember that. Virginia. Farmers in Virginia. And the new Minnesota. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I got you there. But the closing ceremonies, Verona, Italy. I've been there. And I actually stood underneath the balcony that Romeo and Juliet supposedly took place, and it's a small balcony in a small courtyard. And there's a bronze statue of Juliet there that her whole right chest is all bright. That's because you can rub for good luck there, I guess. And let's see. Yeah, the Guthrie search continues. The FBI yesterday announced that there's a $50,000 reward for information that leads to the finding of Nancy Guthrie, the mother of NBC's Today co-host Savannah Guthrie. Authorities believe the 84-year-old is still out there after she was allegedly taken from her Arizona home last weekend. And Savannah Guthrie addressed her mother's possible abduction in a video posted on social media this past Wednesday. She and her siblings recorded it with the FBI guidance, and after unverified ransom notes were sent. So one was, I don't know, one was real, one wasn't. Authorities arrested one person in connection with the phony ransom demand, but say another note is taken seriously. Neither a suspect nor a person of interest has been publicly identified. As the search grows increasingly urgent because Nancy Guthrie has cardiac issues and requires daily medication. So we'll see what happens on that as far as that goes. So let's see, where are we at? We're at 2 hours and 29 minutes. Well, I think we've been on long enough. I usually go to the Commodore 64, but I'm gonna put that off for we'll do that another time and stuff. I sort of had a long break, and I'm long-winded on the talking, and I'm getting a little hungry for some breakfast here. So we're gonna go ahead and wind this down and exit stage left here as far as that goes. So but with that, let's see. I want to say thank you coming into the chat there. Our Tony D, my brother veteran, my good friend and fellow broadcaster. Thank you very much coming in from Warner Robins, Georgia. Thank you. Have a good day there, Tony. Tina, our Jersey girl, thank you for being here. Greatly appreciate it as well from Central New Jersey. We had Thamer, who fixed his door during the broadcast. Thamer coming in from Riyadh, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Thank you, Thamer. Thank you. Be good. Have a great weekend there, my friend. And we had Tim Fanforty, who came in from Michigan to say hello. And glad to have you here. Stay warm there, Tim. And we had Liberty 101 coming in from the Niagara, Buffalo area. Thank you, Liberty, for being here. Greatly appreciate it. You stay warm up there in Buffalo. And as we're going down the list, I think we had somebody new here. Yeah, we had Hallie from Turkey, who was on the YouTube side. Thank you for being here, Hallie. Greatly appreciate you being here as well, and the conversation we had with you. And let's see, we had Double J's, who his home country's from India, but he's in an undisclosed location, even though he might have alluded where he might have been from. But he is an undisclosed location. Glad to have you here, Double J's. Thank you very much, my friend. Greatly appreciate it. You have a great day too, my friend. Always enjoy your conversations and stuff like that. And you have a great day, my friend. Great. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. Always welcome here, my friend. And we had Dark Horse Farmer coming in from Virginia, which is now the new Minnesota, which I'll just say that jokingly. He might be going to West Virginia, he said. West Virginia would be more, but he's down there. Virginia is a beautiful state, but I know I know exactly what farmer means by that. It's not. It's like it might be. I don't know. It's probably not as good as New York is a blue state and Virginia is a blue state. But Double J says, "Yep, keep warm. Have a great weekend. Catch you on the next one." Same to you, Double J's. Greatly appreciate. Again, you have a great one, Farmer, as well as we're ending the broadcast. And we're going to scoot out of here. And I am getting hungry for some breakfast, folks. I am. The stomach is growling as far as that goes. So thank you, Double J's. I definitely appreciate it. All right, folks, you all have a great one wherever you may be. Rich Roberts, at Fireman Rich. I want to say thank you to those folks that were watching. Greatly appreciate it. Those people that were watching on the replay, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. Those people that are listening, we repurpose this on an audio pod format, and we put it over there on Spotify. Thank you for the listens, and greatly appreciated that. You can find me at Fireman Rich over there on X. That's my mainstay for posting on these social media feeds. If you want to know what I'm doing, that's what I'll post it there. Everything over there. And I post a little bit on some other platforms. Just Google at Fireman Rich and you'll see where I'm at as far as that goes. They have a nice little bio on there too. All right, folks, You all have a great one wherever you may be on this big blue marble. Live life, have fun. Ciao for now. As always, peace. Take care, folks, and we'll see you sometime this weekend. I'll be gaming or something like that. So you all have a great one, and take care. Stay warm. You stay warm if you're experiencing the cold. Ciao for now, folks.